Hey there, how's it going? Welcome to Dominions 5. My name's Mew. This time around I'm playing a multiplayer game set in the Middle Age, and I'm playing as Eriu. This video is going to be the intro video for the series, and in this video I'll just talk a little bit about Eriu, as well as the god that I made, the skills and the magic that I chose, and the mods and the map that we're playing with. And after that, the next video going up in this series will be turn 1 to 3. So if you just want to see gameplay, wait for that one. This one's just the intro. If you enjoy this series, or any of the series on the channel, please consider subscribing so that you can always stay up to date with the videos. And if you really love the videos, I've got a link to my Patreon in the description below too. Feel free to check that out at your leisure. Anyway, we're playing as Eriu. This is not a nation that I have seen very much in games. Although, no, I do see them fairly often in games, but they don't usually do much. And I searched our Discord for people who have, talked about Eriu in the past, and the consensus seems to be that they are boring. That seems to be the prevailing opinion of people discussing Eriu, is that they are a boring nation that doesn't do much and doesn't have much late game. Which is fair enough. I could not find anyone who is a hardcore Eriu lover who has some great tips or strats for playing them. The tip seems to be that She-Lords are very good, just thug them out, and that's it. That's the gimmick of the nation. So we'll see how it goes. I don't know. This game is running the JBBM balance mod, so there are a few little tweaks to Eriu, but nothing crazy. They have some interesting coastal recruits, including a little D1 mage, and also some guys they can recruit from mountains that free spawn cows. So you might see some Eriu cows, but besides that, it's still pretty vanilla, I think. But they are predominantly an air and nature nation. They have really nice She-Lords, mounted climate commanders that are very strong. Their troops are mostly Furbolg, who are okay. Better than human units. And we've got a couple of Dinyashi as our recruitable sacreds too. The JBBM balance mod also adds a weird little mounted unit to Eriu as well, who can throw war darts that I think cause bleeding. I might recruit those, I might not, but I'll show them off when we get into the game anyway. As for the god I went with, I don't really rate our starting army very much, and none of our units are particularly good for expanding. So I thought I might as well just take an Awake expander then. One of the people I did speak to who's played Eriu a bit recommended a dragon, so went with a dragon, why not? I haven't used a dragon in a long time though. I played with an Azzy when I did a Ragga game. The Azzy's pretty good. I don't think dragons are quite as strong as the Azzy, but yeah, they're pretty close. Nice breath attack. The balance mod we're using also replaces their length 0 weapons with length 2 versions, which is a nice little improvement to all of the monstrous pretenders, but yeah. We'll lean on the dragon for expanding, I think, in the early game. Maybe there'll be some nice mercenary companies we can pick up. I think I'll try and just recruit some of our sacreds and expand using those guys. Fill out the gaps with some Furbolg. I think we'll do okay. We'll try to get pretty big, try to do some site searching early on. I think Eriu is going to be really gem hungry throughout all stages of the game. We're certainly going to want to do a lot of forging, because we're going to want to thug out a lot of our She-Lords, I think, to carry us through the mid-game. So yeah, lots of site searching, lots of looking for gems. Since I've got a dragon pretender, you might as well get one of the big blesses. I went with water. I'm not sure if quickness is like an incredible bless for us, because we have access to water magic, so we can cast quickness if we need it. But quickness is still nice, I think, on the She-Lords. It's a slight boost to combat stats in addition to doubling the attacks they get. Seems pretty good. Having a big water caster is interesting as well, because it lets us do a lot of water globals if we get the chance to. That's going to depend on how much water income we actually end up generating. But it would be very cool to get up some water globals. Ventral water is always good. Lure of the Deep might be good if there's lots of coastlines, but we'll see. But yeah, that will require both water gems and research, and long-time viewers of the channel will know I'm not terribly good at researching, but you know, we'll see how things work out anyway. So Dragon will be mostly for expanding. He's taken Awake for that reason. We got 10 water magic, which is giving us a quickness blast. letting us do some water spells as well. Scales-wise, mostly just went with Turmoil and Luck first of all, because we don't really need much income. I don't plan on spending tons of gold on units or anything. Mostly just going to be trying to get out She-Lords and the Dinya She from our cap, and that's probably it in the early game. I don't need a huge amount of gold, and our temples only cost 200 gold. So that saves us a bit of cash on infrastructure as well. So don't need much gold, don't need many recruitment points. Seems pretty obvious then that we're going to dump Order. Since we're dumping Order, might as well pick up Luck and see if we get lucky from all these events we're going to be generating. Didn't want to drop Sloth or Growth too much. I didn't want to completely brick our scales. If you do completely brick your scales besides magic, if I put Death down to 3 and Sloth down to 3, I could actually put another 4 levels of magic on the dragon, which was kind of tempting. But decided to just get the Water 10. Keep the scales a bit more reasonable, a bit more closer to neutral. And yeah, just drop a little bit of stuff. We don't need too many resources for the same reason. I just don't really plan on recruiting many units. As long as we can get the Dinya She out of our cap plus a mage, that's all we're really aiming for. And same thing for Death. It's nice not to dump the scales completely, but I don't mind having slightly bad scales in all of them. We don't need too much. This game is also running snow.dm, which is a mod that gives every single unit in the game snow movement. That makes cold scales a bit more tempting. I still went with heat though. I remember being given the advice that heat can be better because it protects human mages from murdering winter. So, I don't know, I've always just kind of stuck with heat. We'll see if that amounts to anything though. And magic wants to help a little bit with research. It also lets us do the quickness bless as well. Yeah, I will try to do... The last game I did was a Gen game, which is, you know, randomly generated nations and randomly generated spell books. But my research was so far behind in that game. That was like unusually bad because I was actually trying to do research. I think I'm going to try to keep mages in forts this time around until we hit some like actual targets. I know I have kind of a reputation for not really doing much research, but I don't know, I feel like it's gotten severe enough, it's probably hurting me, you know, at this point. Let's try to keep actually, this is like a bad nation to keep mages in fortresses on though, right? Because we're going to want to be rolling around with our She-Lords all decked out in items. I don't know. Let's see, let's try and hit some basic research targets. I'll see where... If we can get some water gem income going, maybe I'll try and hit Thaumaturgy for Vengeful Water. I'll get at least the alteration buffs for our She-Lords, instruction targets for items, and then hit like some big target. I'll try to do that. Try and learn some good habits when it comes to research. I don't know. Besides that, I don't have any big plans for the nation because yeah, the advice people give, I mean, generally we have access to air magic, so you know, we can dump air elementals in combat if we need to. We can put up storms. We have mixed nature and water magic, so we can probably put up foul vapors if I had to guess. So usual stuff like that we have access to. The She-Lords are great thugs. I think we have lots and lots of tools to get us through the mid-game. And then if somebody is like really dominant in the late game, I'm not sure what we do. Probably just keep doing more of the same and hope that we outplay people. I think that's the best bet. But we'll see how it goes. Yeah, there are some weird little additions in the JBBM balance mod though. We do have some interesting coastal recruits. We can recruit H1, D1 mages in coasts. And we also have access to like... I think it's a version of Stygian Paths that can only be cast from coasts. I believe. So that's a national spell that we also get added in this balance mod we're using. All of that will amount to nothing though if we don't actually have a coastline near us, so hopefully the map is kind to us in that regard. Besides all that, I will just restate, I've mentioned both of them now, but this game is running 2 mods. It's running the JBBM balance mod and also snow.dm, which just gives everything in the game snow movement. And the game is being played on a map generated using cartographic revision. So I'll also put a link to that in the description below as well. Besides that, I don't think there's anything else left to say. So I'll leave things there. Thanks as always for watching. Next video will be turn 1 to 3. So hopefully I will see you then.